If you're watching my video, you are probably thinking about relocating to Alaska, and there's a small possibility you're considering my neck of the woods, Fairbanks. So if you're interested in moving to the interior of Alaska, this video might just be for you. The entire topic today is, what is it really like to move to Alaska, especially from the lower 48? We're gonna touch a little bit on military, and a little bit on the civilian side, and let's see where we end up. So first off, if you're thinking about relocating to Alaska, realize this is going to be a great financial endeavor. And what I mean by that is you're moving outside of the continental United States to a little lonely island, if you will, north of the United States. Now, we're not really an island. The reason I say we're an island is there's no direct roads leading from the lower 48 to Alaska. You're gonna have to go international and travel through Canada or take a ferry up through the coastlines. Now, there are other options like planes, but how are all your belongings gonna get here? And that is the most expensive option. So let's talk about all three. The cheapest option for you to get up here is going to be packing all of your things into a U-Haul and driving up here through the Alcan Highway. That is the Alaska-Canadian highway that goes from Dawson City, Canada, all the way to Fairbanks, Alaska. It's one continuous road. Now, it's not always well maintained. In the summer is construction season, so they're gonna be ripping up that road and redoing it every single year, or at least segments of it, just like we do here in Alaska because of the shorter building season. Or you'll drive during the winter where the entire highway will be covered in snow most of the winter. Now, it's maintained snow plowing. You're just gonna be driving on what we call hardpack, and it's great practice for when you actually get up here to Fairbanks, since we drive on hardpack pretty much year round, with the exception of the highways. The reason this is your cheapest option is you're doing all the work, you're packing yourself up, you're driving the road, you're getting here in a couple of days. Now, I've seen people drive through Canada in 3 days from the Montana crossing all the way to the Beaver Creek one in Alaska, but I'll tell you, 5 days is a little bit more manageable, reasonable, and just better for your sanity. Also, during that road trip, make sure you have some kind of a companion with you. I don't care if it's a dog, wife, fiance, boyfriend, it doesn't matter. It gets lonely on the road. In order to make it a little bit more bearable, I highly recommend Audible. It's a great source to get some books, learn a little bit while you're driving. And if you need a book, I recommend The Extensive History of Alaska. It's only about 48 hours if you're gonna listen to the audiobook version. So that might get you the entire way here, and you'll learn everything there is to know about Alaska. It's a great book series. It's just extremely excruciating long, and it goes into a lot of detail, starting with the ice bridge and the Bering Strait and how the first civilizations actually became established in North America. And then it goes all the way to modern day history and talks about the Alaska Triangle and so many other things. So great book, check it out. Otherwise, your second option to get to Alaska is going to be to take the ferry. Now, you can still have your stuff professionally packed up and shipped up here, and you can just go and take the nice little ride from the Tacoma seaport all the way up to the Seward dock, where you're gonna get out and then drive the remaining way up to Fairbanks. This is a great trip, and you're gonna see amazing wildlife, just like you will on the Alcan Highway. A little bit different since you're doing more marine style, so you're gonna see whales and dolphins and all those cool things like seals and whatnots. But on the other one, you're gonna see the bisons, the bears, the moose, the deer, and all the other stuff. So figure out which one you like best. If it's about wildlife, both of the sceneries are once in a lifetime. And what I'll tell you is, if you come one way, if you leave the other way. That way you get both experiences and hopefully save some money. Better option that most people do on the ferry is same thing, packing up a U-Haul or a trailer of some sort, driving it onto the ferry, parking it, and taking it. Now, let's talk about pets, because this is always important. Now, unlike Hawaii, you don't have to quarantine your pets for 30 days when you bring them to Alaska, which is great. However, you still gotta make sure they come up here. So on the ferry, there are breed restrictions, there are a number of dog restrictions, and the dogs have to stay in the vehicles, which means you need to go check on them, walk them around the deck, put them back in. They can stretch some legs, but they're not allowed in the passenger section of the boat. If you're driving, it's gonna be a lot of hours with a whiny dog. I got one, I know exactly what you're going through. But at least you can stop whenever you want, get out, stretch your legs, give them a bathroom break, give them some water, pick it right back up and get right back at it. The limiting option in all of these is gonna be the third option, which is flying up here to Alaska. Now, the reason this is the most limiting is they have breed restrictions too. This one's not against violent breeds. It's usually the short-nosed breeds, so your Rottweilers your pit bulls in some instances, your bulldogs of all kinds. So that would be your French bulldogs, English bulldogs, sometimes even American bulldogs, pugs, those kinds of dogs. Anything with a flat, short snout, they have a problem breathing at altitude. And so Alaska Airlines really does have a restriction on bringing those animals up here. Now, Alaska Air Cargo will fly your pets directly from whatever airport you drop them off at up here to Fairbanks, and you don't have to accompany them. So that's great if you wanted to, you know, have your parents drop your pet off after you've arrived to Alaska and established yourself. And usually that's a good idea, but the logistics are always difficult. So figure out what's best for your family and the solutions that you guys could work around. And hopefully one of these options works. So again, in summary, you can pack up your car, head up north through Montana and connect to Dawson after the Banff exchange there, and then take the Alcan all the way up here to Fairbanks, Alaska. Second option is getting on the ferry and taking a nice, comfortable boat ride for a couple of days from Tacoma up to the Seward Port, and then do a short one-day drive up to Fairbanks. And the final option that most people choose, or at least for their dependents, is going to be the plane. Flying up here, getting here, and then having everything else shipped afterwards. Now, if you're military, you have a lucky entitlement that we all don't take advantage of, and that's the free move. Everybody wants to do a Diddy or a partial Diddy, which is you moving majority of your stuff yourself. But if you are military, especially going international, I always recommend just do the full move. Have them pack everything, insure everything, and bring it up here. That way, if anything does break, it's a long journey, stuff will break, you can at least be refunded for it and not be out that money. So that's my #1 tip, is do what's best for you, plan ahead. And there's a thing about Alaska when you move here. Do everything 3 months beforehand. We got a lot of tourism, we have limited contractors, we have limited realtors and everything else that you can imagine, because we're a state of less than 1 million people, but bigger than Wyoming, California, and Texas combined. So why do you want to get a head start? Well, when you're trying to book tickets to do things, you're competing against tourism. Whenever you're trying to get a contractor's attention, there's a shorter building season for everybody, and there's limited contractors. So you want to get everything scheduled a season ahead of time, so that when the season actually comes, you're executing these tasks and you're not just beginning to look for those contractors. I want to warn you guys, every year I hear my clients try to get a roof replaced, find a house, sell their home, do something, and they're always playing catch up. This is the one state I have to tell you, you have to plan ahead no matter what. Otherwise, you'll be left in the dust and you'll be regretting it. To learn the lessons for next year. I've been here for 11 years now, and this year we were planning this great summer trip down to the Kenai Fjords and the Katmai National Park, so that we could see the bears eating at the Brooks Falls, as well as spend a day on the water down the Kenai Fjords with the seals and otters and all that stuff. It was gonna be a great trip. We still haven't planned. We're just gonna book tickets now for next year, because tourism was just way ahead of us, and even though we were planning 2 months in advance, everything was booked out before we could grab our spots. So it's not just you guys coming up here being new, it's even us locals that forget about some of the complexities of living in a tourist-centric small state at the edge of the world. So remember that we are at the top of the highway. No more roads go past Fairbanks. We do have the Elliott and the Dalton Highway that go up, but that's where ice road truckers drive, and I guarantee you we are not suited for that, even though people do that trip all the time. So when you get to Fairbanks, you're gonna wanna figure out where to live. This is something you wanna get a head start on as well, because the summer is our busy season. If you have pets, go ahead and try to get yourself a rental, but there is a secret I need to tell you. Fairbanks landlords are not very pet friendly, and the reason for that is the extended winter months. Sadly, because it's so cold outside, most people don't give their dogs proper exercise, so they get a little stir crazy in the house, and they just create a little bit more damage than they would in other places. After years of learning this lesson the wrong way, landlords have pretty much all come together and not really allowing pets in apartment-style housing. Single-family homes, on the other hand, are a little bit more lenient because they do have yard space, but even those, I'm seeing less and less people offering pet options. If you're trying to buy a house, there is a sales season from April 1st until October 15th. That is the busy season. If you want to go to a more microscopic lens, May through the end of July is the super busy season. And then everything else still sells houses year round, but it just tapers off. So if you think about it like that little graph, 4th of July is right here in the middle, and then January and December kind of taper off. Now we still sell plenty of houses during those months. You'll still have plenty of options, but the peak season is that May through July season, just so you're aware. This means that you could be competing for housing. So you wanna have 2, 3, 4 backup options just in case other buyers snag what you're looking at first. Also, you want to work with a good, competent, capable realtor that's full-time, that will dedicate time to you to help you find that house. If you're looking for rentals, try not to call realtors. Most of them are in the sales side of things. You're going to want to call property managers, and they're not as great at putting stuff on the internet for advertising. So you want to call them directly and get their book of business, figure out what listings they have so that you can go through their entire inventory, figure out what might fit your needs. Other than that, Fairbanks is a little bit different. We already know the extreme temperatures. I have a bunch of videos talking about our amazing summers and our dreadfully cold winters. And the tip from those videos to put into this one is just find stuff to do in the winter. Summer's a no-brainer. You're gonna go out and do a bunch of cool stuff. You don't need my help for that. But in the winter, to keep your mental sanity, please get outside and find some hobbies. Short activities that get you outside of your house in the winter months are gonna change your life, and you're really gonna appreciate Alaska a little bit more. So get into dog mushing, skiing, snowboarding, cross-country skiing, sledding, whatever it is. We have a lot of outdoor activities here and a lot of community events as well. So get out there and be social in the winter months, otherwise you will lose your mind and feel a little antisocial and cabin fever. And then Alaska's just not gonna have that same appeal that it does for the rest of us. And lastly is know where you want to live. So are you focused more on the Alaskan lifestyle? Get outside of the city limits and get into Alaska. If you're looking for ease of commute to work, then maybe you're going to give up on that dream of privacy or that homestead and come a little bit closer to town where you're going to have city water, city sewer, natural gas hookups, and just have a little bit easier, normal of a life. Keep in mind these areas are better plowed and maintained and have more utilities like internet and cell phone service than those properties way out of town. Again, we're at the end of the world. Even the satellites don't always reach up here that well. That being said, we do have Starlink, so internet should no longer be a concern. However, right now there is a substantial hookup fee if you're thinking about using Starlink. GCI is our local internet, mostly for inside the city area, and that's gonna be your fiber option. They're super great, but a little bit expensive, especially if you're coming from the lower 48 where things are just a little bit cheaper. Gas prices are a little bit higher. Vehicle types, you'll see some differences too. Almost everybody here drives some sort of four-wheel drive. We still have Priuses and Teslas and all of those vehicles, but once you start getting out of town a little bit more, you start realizing that everybody has a pickup truck or an SUV of some sort. Does that mean you need to buy one? No. The more important thing is the type of tires that you have. I'm not sponsored by them yet, but Blizzaks are probably the best tires for the Fairbanks area. I hear about them every single year and they're on almost everybody's cars. That being said, you want to use them as a winter tire because of the softer rubber. You want to take those off during the summertime so that you don't wear down the lifespan of those tires. So have another junky set that you just use for the summer and switch your tires twice a year, right before it snows and right after the snow is gone. There are a million other things I can give you for tips and tricks, but this is the video all about how to come up here. The next video is going to be about how to live once you're here, what to look for, what to look out for, and what to do. You guys have a great day. Talk to you later.